Hey everybody, Michael Laidler here, and let's get right into this. Work-home life balance. If you think you have one, raise your hand. All right, now some of you guys aren't telling the truth, but we're gonna go with it for the sake of this video. In this video, we're gonna go over 5 things you can do to help improve your work-home life balance. And trust me, there's a lot of people that's gonna be sitting to your left and to your right that's really gonna appreciate these 5 tips you get. Before we get into the video, make sure you like and subscribe, leave a few comments, share if you're excited about doing that, and let's jump on to the video. Work and life balance isn't something you just get a reward for. It's not something that's optional. It's not something that you can just do whenever you feel like it's okay. Work-life balance is actually something that is required. But to make it a requirement, to be an effective requirement, you have to understand there's certain steps you have to go through. Because understanding when it's time to go home and when it's time to get away from all that stress that's at work, you have to know how to pull the plug and get away from it. A lot of us think that by working long hours and telling ourselves that we're going to be at work all day long for 16, 18 hours, that's effective. And truly it's not. Not allowing yourself the chance to relax, take a deep breath, enjoy your entire day. You think that by spending more time at work, that it's the remedy for everything. It's not. So let's go ahead and go over the 5 different things you can do to help normalize and create a cycle for work-life balance. The first thing I want you to do is to pause and denormalize. I don't mean pause this video, but if you find yourself working long hours, find yourself time to create breaks. Find yourself time to come back to normal, because going full speed into anything that you're doing isn't gonna allow you to get any better at it. Thus, you have to be able to pause periodically, let's say once every 30 minutes, go and come back. I've actually started using this app called the Focus app, and it actually does just that for me. It allows me to work for 25 minutes at a time, and then it gives me a 5-minute break in between. I have found myself increasing my focus exponentially just because I'm paying attention to how much time I'm working and resting. Now, say you take that over a 8, 10, 16-hour period, how much more can you be impactful because you're giving yourself time to break and rest? Pause and denormalize. Pause and denormalize. Allow yourself to be able to rest while you're working hard. Going hard for 8 to 10 hours isn't the way to go. We have found out in multiple studies that your brain likes to rest, even if it's for a short amount of time. It likes to kind of slow down. When you're taking these breaks, depends on, let's say you're working from home, make a couple of laps around your house. If you're in the office, maybe make a lap around the building, walk outside, smell the fresh air, do something, but you have to find in every 30 minutes, give or take, a chance to pause and denormalize and understand what's going on around you. And you'll realize that over a period of time of doing that, you allow yourself to remove away from or get away from a little of the stress that you're around, because you want to take yourself out of that setting. You don't want to just go from working 8 to 10 hours to just taking your first break when you're driving home, because that's not going to work. You have to find times within your workday, because when it comes to that work-life balance, that's what's gonna help you out overall, is taking no chances and saying, okay, I'm gonna take 5 minutes out of 30 every half an hour and just pause, remove myself from that setting. I want you to try that over the next couple of days, just a few times a day. Even if you try it once or twice, and see how much your body reacts, see how differently your body is, because I know I've done it more recently than not, and giving myself those dedicated breaks has allowed me to be able to de-stress even quicker on my way home or at the end of a long workday. The second thing you want to do is pay attention to your emotions. When you start feeling resentful at the work you're in, or you're starting to feel sad or disappointed with what's going on, pay attention to that. Don't just ignore it and think that it's just going to go away, because it's not. You have to be able to realize what's going on with your body. And that's a lot to do with self-awareness. You can look at some of my other videos on that. But when you're looking at your work-life balance, realize what's triggering you to become upset at whatever task that you're doing at the time. Pay attention to how your emotions are channeling your energy, because you don't want to be distracted in that manner, because you're like, hey, I know I'm not happy with this. I'm just going to ignore it and expect it to go away. It's not going to go away. It's just not going to disappear because you ignore it. Pay attention to your emotions and allow yourself to be able to realize what's going on within your reach. The third thing I want you to do, reprioritize what's going on around you. If you keep putting that organization as number one, what do you think is going to happen to you over time? I wrote a whole book on self-awareness. And one of the things that I emphasized a lot in that book was dissonance. One way to reduce dissonance, reprioritize what's going on around you. Meaning, make you number one. Then be there for your family, because they're going to be with you till the end of the day, and then your organization. If you find yourself putting your work always in the front of everything, you're going to quickly realize that you're going to find more stress at home, because all the things that you have going on at home are going to be put on the back burner. Reprioritize what you have going on. Put yourself first. Then bring your family in, because once again, those are the ones that are going to be there for you. And then finally, put the organization where it needs to be. Don't quit your organization. You still got a job to do, but understanding that to have the best work balance and work focus, you have to have the same home and life balance first to understand how well you can do at work. Number 4, consider your alternatives. If you're not working 16 to 18 hours a day, what else can you be doing? Do you have children? Do you have a spouse? Are you just involved in church activities? Whatever that might be, what else can you be doing with some of your time? I know you're going to see a lot of motivational speakers, inspirational speakers say, hey, you need to be grinding out 18, 20 hours a day. And that's fine and dandy to a point. But when you're grinding for 18 to 20 hours a day, what are you giving up? When you're looking at ways to improve, think about what else can be going on. What are your alternatives to how you spend your time? If there are certain aspects of your job that you think you can change to allow yourself maybe another 30 minutes with your kid, or another hour spending time walking around the neighborhood with your spouse, find it. Find what else you can do with that time, because at the end, we only have 24 hours in a day, 168 hours in a week, no matter who you are. But understanding all the alternatives that you have goes a far way, because it's gonna help you out with your work and life balance. The 5th thing that I want you to do is actually implement change. If that means making a public announcement, getting your vision board, writing something on social media, letting people know that you are dedicated to the 4 areas we already talked about, do that. Because it's great in theory for us to talk about, well, I want a good work-life balance. I want to be able to spend more time with my family over here, or I want to be able to have more times with my hobby over there. But until you actually make actionable changes and you execute, you're never going to be able to accomplish what you're trying to do. I know it sounds obvious, but a lot of people don't execute at number 5. They just talk about the other 4 areas and hope that that work and life balance gets better. All right, guys, thank you for watching this video. We talked about 5 different things you can do to impact your work-life balance. Remember, None of these activities are a one-time thing to do. They have to be done over and over and over. You just can't expect for your success to go up with your home and your family if you're not putting that work in daily to make it work. I know there's going to be long days at work, but that doesn't mean that there have to be long days every day for years at a time. You have to find those windows. You have to be able to find those times that allows you to impact your work and life balance, because you owe it to yourself. You owe it to your family, and then ultimately you're gonna owe it to your organization. 5 things. That's all we need when it comes to this work-life balance formula. They're very simple, but they take time. They take effort. They take energy. They're just not an overnight process that's gonna allow you to do what you have to do to get there. If you didn't get the chance, just make sure you comment, like, share, do everything at the bottom of this video to help improve for future videos. I appreciate you taking the time. Have a great day.